DeAndre, wake up.
Imagine reading a poem or story, and instead of thinking about the author's life, background, or the historical context of this text, you focused purely on the words and the structure and the symbols behind the story itself. That's what New Criticism asks us to do. To leave the author and the historical context behind and analyze the work based on what's right in front of us. In this presentation, I'm going to walk you through the origins of New Criticism, how it applies in literary analysis, and how to use New Criticism to dive deeper into the meaning of Frankenstein. New Criticism emerged in 1940 and the 1950s as a reaction against earlier methods of literary analysis that focus on the author's life or historical context. Critics like John Corral Ransom, Clearith Bronx, and W.K. Wimsatt argued that literature should be studied independently of external factors. Instead, they believed we should focus on the text itself, its language, structure, and form. Ransom, a key figure in New Criticism, saw a text as self-contained object that could be understood through careful analysis without considering the author's intentions. Clearith Bronx expanded the idea with his theory of paradox, suggesting that contradictions within a text are crucial to its meaning, not a flaw. Wimsatt, on the other hand, introduced the concept of intentional fallacy, arguing that trying to understand an author's intentions was irrelevant for interpreting their own work. By the 1950s, New Criticism became a dominant speech in American literature, emphasizing close reading, a method of analyzing a text's internal elements to reveal its deeper meanings. New Criticism is all about analyzing the text itself, its form, structure, and text. When applying this method, we focus on the internal elements of a work, like imagery, symbolism, and contradictions, to uncover deeper meanings. One of the main techniques in New Criticism is close reading. This means looking at every word, line break, and literary device to see how it contributes to the overall meaning of the work. For example, a poem's rhythm or sentence structure isn't simply just a stylistic choice. It can reveal something about the speaker's emotional state or the theme of the poem. Another key concept is the unity of text. New critics believe that all elements of the work, whether it's seemingly contradictory metaphor or an ironic twist, work together to form a unified whole. The goal is to identify how every part of the text contributes to its central meaning or theme, even if it seems contradictory at first. A great example of this can be found in how new critics approach ambiguity. If a text includes conflicting ideas, New Criticism sees that as a strength. These contradictions don't weaken the text. Instead, they add complexity, showing how different parts of the text work in harmony to develop its deeper meanings.
Cool.
First, let's consider the narrative structure of Frankenstein. Frankenstein is told through multiple layers of narration. Victor Frankenstein's letters, his own account, and the creature's story. This layered structure isn't just a storytelling technique. It emphasizes the theme of isolation. The reader sees each character's story through their own perspective, reinforcing their personal alienation. This text structure mirrors the isolation experienced by Victor and the creature, showing how their separateness leads to their tragic fates. Now, let's examine the symbolisms of light and dark throughout the novel. Throughout this novel, light often represents knowledge, creation, and discovery, while darkness symbolizes ignorance, destruction, and the unknown. Victor's obsession with uncovering the secrets of life is often associated with light. He speaks of chasing the light of knowledge. However, the darkness of his experiments and the consequences of playing God soon overshadow him, leading to his downfall. This contrasting image of light and dark in Frankenstein highlights the duality of scientific discovery. It can lead to the Enlightenment, but it can also lead to destruction when pursued with ethical boundaries.
Ooh.
One of the most compelling arguments of the novel is the creature itself, which can be interpreted through New Criticism's focus on paradox and unity. The creature, often seen as a monster, is also portrayed as a tragic figure, capable of great sensitivity and intelligence. This paradox he is both a victim and a villain. Adds complexity in the novel, revealing the deep internal conflict of both Victor and his creation. The creature's appearance contrasts with his inner character, emphasizing the theme of appearance versus reality, which is central to the text. In the end, the creature's desire for revenge and his longings for acceptance create a tragic unity in the text, which both he and Victor are destroyed by their inability to reconcile their inner and outer selves. By focusing on these elements, the structure, symbolism, and paradoxes, New Criticism allows us to see how Shelley carefully crafted Frankenstein to explore themes of isolation, the dangers of unchecked ambition, and the consequences of rejecting responsibility. The text unity built through these elements bring depth to the story and invites readers to reflect on the consequences of human action and creation. To conclude, New Criticism solely focuses on the text, structure, and literary devices used in a poem, story, or piece of literature. Using New Criticism, we can look into deeper meanings of text without using the previous background and context of an author, and it can be greatly used to analyze Frankenstein. Thank you for listening to my presentation. That was straight from the dome, bro. That was straight from the dome. That was no